Here we are once again, doing a real journey, this time going to a hospital in a neighbouring town to deliver something to my father-in-law. And we're hazard counting as a means of getting me to stay focused on looking for developing hazards around the car. So let's get the car on, make sure everything's set up correctly, get it into gear, and away we go. So 0 hazards at the moment. Not necessarily going to describe what I see, I'm just going to say the number of hazards that I can see, and that will help me to pay more attention if the number gets bigger. And just because I've said 1, it doesn't mean there won't be a second hazard developing, and that's what's different between real life and the hazard perception test. Pardon me. So 0 hazards at the moment. 0, 0, 0, now 1, because I've got a fixed object in front of me. 1, now it's 0 because I'm stationary. I'm considering putting the parking brake on, but everything's static apart from the flashing direction signal on the car in front, so nothing close to me is going to change. Pedestrians walking behind me, they're going to appear on the right hand side in a moment, but she didn't get anywhere close to me and I wasn't moving, so if I was and I suddenly stopped, yes, that could cause a problem for her if she's walking close to the back of my car. It's still 0, nothing developing at the sides, car coming up behind me. Now it's 1 because I'm heading towards things that are moving and about to slow down, making eye contact with the second black car who's creating a gap so I can start to move out. I will put on a left signal as well just to make it obvious that I'm intending to move over that way. Once again, we're back to 0 hazards. Hopefully we can get some 2s and maybe a 3 hazards all happening at the same time as I get closer to the roundabout in the rush hour. So I'll say thank you to them. I'll keep the left signal on because I haven't finished joining this line of traffic yet. We're back to 0. It's about to go 1 because I've got people walking in front. Now it's back to 0. Still nothing developing from the sides. The car behind is fairly close behind, eager to get out into perhaps the same gap that this black car has allowed me to move into. I'm just working out whether I actually want to go on the ring road to the left, in which case I need to make a lane change soon. Black BMW behind us closed up that gap so that the Mercedes that's behind me did not have a chance to get out. 1 hazard at the moment, the car with its big red brake lights on in front. White car coming from the left, not really a hazard for me. Looks like it's turning quite sharply going into lane 1. I'm in lane 2, so it's not a hazard for me. Mercedes coming past and then trying to force its way in. Oh well, it's all on camera. YK20GJE. We'll see what happens. That was the one that was annoyed that he couldn't get into the gap behind me. We'll see what the black car does. I want to go onto the ring road, so I think I will tell people that I want to change into the left lane at this point. I'll leave the black Mercedes and the silver car to argue it out between them. I'll change my mind and I'll go straight ahead. because I know that this lane can also go onto the ring road. So, no hazards at the moment. Stationary once more. I'll be taking the second exit off the roundabout. Although, I wonder if the quickest route is to go right on the roundabout and then get onto the ring road before going through the tunnels to get out north of the city. Just thinking through that at the moment. No, I think I'll go around the ring road. I know it's a 2-lane exit, which is fairly common at a large roundabout such as this. So even though I'm in lane 2, it shouldn't be a problem to leave the roundabout from a lane that's not the furthest one over on the left hand side. So 0 hazards at the moment. Things might get quite racy once we start to get onto the roundabout. Looks like there's queuing traffic, so I'm watching new traffic that's coming onto the roundabout, as well as looking for any movement through the stationary traffic that's on the roundabout. People taking the first exit might cause people like this white car to suddenly try and change lanes as we get closer to the roundabout. Orange Dodge Challenger up there. Same shape as the one I used to have. So that was exit 1. Here comes exit 2. It's signposted for A34 in brackets, which means that the road I go onto when I leave the roundabout isn't the A34, but it leads to the A34. There's a green traffic light still showing towards traffic coming from my left, which has now gone amber, so I know that my light's about to change. 0 hazards in front. I can see there's a 2-lane exit. I'll check my right mirror, check my left mirror. I can stay in that lane to exit. Still got 2 lanes. Keeping in that right-hand lane, which now becomes the middle lane. I'll get through this junction. I can see a 40-mile-an-hour speed sign. So once I've checked left mirror and over my shoulder, I can move back to lane 1. My speed is 32, so I can afford to let it come up a little, but there's somebody waiting at the crossing, so 1 hazard, 1 hazard, 1. That's back to 0. Now it goes up to 1 again because of queuing traffic, and there's also a sign saying that this lane will close soon, but there's no indication of how far away that is, and the traffic in front queuing has blocked my view. I suspect it's quite soon, but it makes good use of road space if you stay in the lane that is open until you get close to where it closes and then merge together. But unless the culture you live in is quite disciplined, people tend to get annoyed if you hang about in a lane that's closing until you are essentially guided by the cones out of that lane. So at this point, I'm not going to race to get in front of the silver car, but I will put my right signal on here, see if the black car lets me come out. No, they're not going to. That's okay. I can keep moving forwards in this lane. There is still road space. See what this grey car now does. I'm not going to get closer to the dark grey car that's waiting in front. I don't want to look cheeky or rude forcing my way in. I need to see what this dark grey car is going to do. They've just moved forwards about a metre, so that probably means that they're not inclined to let me out. I will look at them in a moment when traffic in the queue in front starts to move, to see if I can make eye contact, to see if they are going to let me move out. I'm checking especially for any motorbikes on the right hand side to see if that gap's going to close. No, yeah, I've made eye contact with them and they're going to let me come out, so that's very good of them. I won't move forward any further at the moment. now the traffic queue in front is starting to move. I'll say thank you to them, and I will start to move. He's going off to the right hand lane. I'm going to move across one more lane. And then I will simply follow him. No need for me to go into lane 2 behind the Audi. Oh, I should have put the news on. I probably missed the headlines now, never mind. So, still just 0 hazards while we're stationary. It will go up to 1 again soon. But I'm finding it difficult to get up to more than 1, probably because I'm driving, as is everybody, at a fairly slow speed, so it's unlikely that more than one thing will develop at once. It's only if you're travelling fairly briskly, and other people are as well, that you get 2 and 3 hazards developing at once, typically. Not always the case. This morning on a driving lesson, we had 3 things start to occur. A hidden view into a junction on the right hand side, and a bin lorry with lots of activity right in front of us, and the end of a road coming up from which another car could already be coming. So 2 hazards there, potentially 3 hazards, all within a few seconds.